that was me. I was dreaming of you.
The real horror is the cabin sizes, am I right? Mummified corpses harboring a grudge and a boner for the curvaceous reincarnation of a long-lost love is pretty commonplace in horror. But throwing a cursed mummy on a cruise liner complete with a busty entertainment division and a fully stocked bar? Well, then you've got yourself a movie, pal, or at least some semblance of a cohesive story. I'll admit, the title led me to believe this would be an appropriate entry for my HalloweeNoire-themed Spooktober. But as it turns out, exorcisms are nowhere to be found, and the black section of the title is a jaw-dropping misnomer as we open on our two doomed lovers slathered in layers upon layers of tar-like blackface. It's a problem. At least there's Voodoo. Kind of. But who feels the need to lug their priceless sarcophagus on holiday? I bet Carnival Cruise wouldn't have even let him do it unless there was beer in the coffin.
Summarizing, a steward is decapitated. The next night, his head shows up in one of your passengers' cabin. Several men have a terrible struggle with the suspect, but he vanishes. Well, Captain, you may sail when you like.
Aren't you going to do anything else?
You see, I have a system. When I don't have a lead, I drink gin and wait.
He ain't no Hercule Poirot, but at least he likes to get loose. Once Aldo Sembrell's resurrected Deadite cast his squinty, dried-out gaze upon Ava Leone, a much lighter-skinned dead ringer for his gal pal from hundreds of years ago, he's all business as he chops and socks vacationers in his quest to join her once again. He's even got a hypnotized flunky who will run you over with a steamroller if he's got a mind to. Problem is, he swoops in and pulls the tall, dark, and handsome thing early on, and the film doesn't know what else to do with him. So it becomes a procedural with a stereotypically dried-out detective on his last case played by a ribald Fernando Sancho. The stories don't complement one another well, and the finale lacks much suspense or action, despite the use of flamethrowers and a surprisingly dark ending. Edits from one scene to another are far too jagged and sometimes cut off dialogue. The dubbing is pretty rough, and it often sounds like the same people are voicing multiple characters on a poor mic. Somewhat forgivable, but distracting nonetheless. Still, director Manuel Cano has a keen visual sense, and much of cinematographer Roberto Ochoa's work is dynamic and sometimes even beautiful. An overhead shot of Sembrell destroying a cabin is particularly inspired. An island opening and a ritual sacrifice is excitingly staged, not to mention rife with nudity, and some of writer Santiago Moncada's mystical dialogue has an ominous ring to it.
Your head will burn, and your body will dissolve into nothingness. Wait for the spirit to descend. Heads sing, feet are bare, the bodies dressed in white. Chained to the ground, the spirits await.
We have no eyes, but we see, nor ears, but we hear your voice, nor legs, but we ascend to heaven as particles of God.
It's nothing we haven't seen, but despite its rough edges and campy humor, Voodoo Black Exorcist is rarely boring. Besides, there's a ship called Star Wars, and I can say from experience that the accent they gave the ship's captain is dead-on accurate.
This is the captain speaking. As a consequence of the events occurred last night, I must take certain security measures. Beforehand, I apologize for the inconvenience to the passengers. We must make an extensive search of the ship, holds, storerooms, lifeboats, crew quarters. The passenger cabins must also be searched. Tomorrow, we'll dock at Kingston. But I must beg the passengers and crew not to disembark until we receive instructions from the police department in Kingston.
Oh no, Dr. Craig will be waiting at the airport. I must disembark.
Thanks for watching, you jive turkeys. Plenty more scary stuff coming up, so like and subscribe and have a happy Halloween.